Welcome to Dr. Mama Says. I'm your host, Dr. Deborah Burton, a board-certified pediatric ear, nose, and throat physician. Based on over 25 years of experience, I plan to share timeless tips about parenting and healthcare. Thanks so much for joining today. And now it's time to get on with the show. Hello, this is Dr. Burton, aka Dr. Mama. Welcome to episode 2 of Dr. Mama Says, where I'm sharing parenting tips and healthcare tips. For this episode, I thought it might be nice to sort of introduce myself in terms of my parenting style. In the previous episode, talked to you a little bit about my background, how I was raised, my family life. But now I do want to talk about how I parent and my views on parenting. We all have different styles. And the styles we have aren't used the same in every situation. But we also each have our main style. Remember in episode 1 when I talked about my type A personality? Well, I took that type A personality right on into motherhood. So let's just say that didn't go as well as planned. Parents in general want the best for their kids. But our best and the kids' best are not necessarily the same. Best is often based on effort, like how much effort do you want to put in to get the best? How about kind of the best? Or how close to the best do you really need to be? Well, one thing for sure was I am definitely not on mom team that lets kids guide themselves. That was not happening. At any rate, after valiantly trying to raise my kids in my pre-planned type A way, I had to regroup and start working in general areas. How about offering choices in this group or that group? You will hear me repeatedly say, motherhood is hard. It is. In every stage. It's just a different hard. Now, fatherhood is hard too. I'm just not an expert on that. And I can say fatherhood might be a tad bit harder if the dad is raising girls rather than raising boys. I'm only saying this based on my observations watching my husband. Sometimes I think I had the advantage because, I'm a girl. Girl brain and boy brain often are not the same. I don't have any sons. But I'm also willing to bet that high school boy drama does not hold a candle to high school girl drama. Pretty sure I'm right in that. Anyway, I blog about my girls a lot. I share things about them on social media, and a lot of people have gotten to know them and their personality. I sometimes get really sweet comments about them, but sometimes I get comments about how lucky I am. This makes my eyebrows go way up. Lucky? Are you kidding me? I was like every other mom out there, just making stuff up. Trial and error. Lots and lots of errors. Lots of frustration and, of course, lots of tears, both mine and the girls. Parenting is hard for everyone. I think the key is never quitting, because I wanted to. There were some ugly periods of time that I was just not able to do anything right. Oh, it might have looked pretty on the outside as others gazed at us, but that just reinforces that no one knows anybody else's real story. Sometimes I consider the operating room my therapy session. I developed extremely close relationships with my surgical team, my anesthesia staff, surgical tech, and nurse. Seems that we all got to know each other's families very well and were there to support each other. I remember I would walk into the OR, wave my arms in the air and say, "Let me tell you what my child did this week." Then I would just vent. I got the appropriate amount of sympathy and support that I needed to get back into that parenting game and continue on. I remember one especially rough period of time where I just felt at a loss. And I finally got into the operating room and said out loud, "That's it, I'm out." And my staff looked at me, "You're out?" "Yep. I'm just going to sit back and let things happen. They will see. Yep, I'm just going to let them see that their choices are wrong." And I did that for a very brief period of time. I pretended not to notice that all hell was breaking loose. I tried very hard to keep a neutral face. I would quickly turn my head away when there was a moment when I wanted to jump in and say something, but I was in that letting thing go phase. I'm not exactly proud of this period, but it did happen. But after watching chaos continue for a time, I began to realize, what if they never see? What if they think chaos and pandemonium is all right? Well, that's not going to be an acceptable option for me. So I rallied out of my quitter chair and jumped back into parenting mode. Parenting mode with all of its highs and its lows. What I decided at that moment was I knew that I was not going to win at doing what I thought was best, but I was also not going to let them win at doing what they thought was best. Teen and tween years can be a tad bit ugly. So regardless of what is cool or normal or what everyone else was doing, there was going to be some equal pushback from me each time they pushed. What helped me with the rest of my motherhood journey was that I decided to say my goal out loud. I will not win, but neither will they. My goal and my vision was to raise my girls to be high school graduates, and when they crossed that finish line, we would both mentally be bloodied and bruised, but we would step over that finish line in a dead even tie. No winners, no losers. Yes, things look awesome now, but mental exhaustion can be part of parenting. Brace yourself. Accept that you should make a plan so you have a direction to guide your kids. Accept that they're going to push back. Accept that you do not have to blindly follow whatever direction they choose to go. Accept that you need to push back to match them. I have decided that excelling at parenting is often ending in a pretty neutral position with lots and lots of compromise. But you smile because you initially set the starting point, so your end result is not too far off your ultimate goal. As I wrap up this episode about my Parenting 101 philosophy, remember to set your own goals and desires early on to get the kids off to a good start. Then prepare for the roller coaster of pushing and pulling as they find themselves. You only push as hard as they do to get close to neutral. You can't push too hard, but you can't let them push you too hard either. Now that I'm on the other side with adult kids, I can smile and remember all the great times. I am indeed incredibly proud of my daughters, but I don't want anybody to think that I was lucky. I was in your shoes. I was there. I experienced just about everything that you're experiencing. The difference is, it's how do you respond? None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. Mistakes is part of parenting. But don't make your decisions based on what you think others are doing. Others may make it look easy. They're home crying too. I credit my success in raising my girls to my simple goal of being sure that my kids and I ended as equals. No winners and losers. Keep that in mind. We like to win, but you know what? Sometimes just not losing is an awesome goal. Thanks for listening. For now, I gotta go. Hope you come back again soon. I truly want to thank you for spending your time listening to Dr. Mama Says. It means a lot to me because without you, there would be no podcast. If you enjoy what you heard today, please consider going to iTunes and giving me a 5-star rating. This will help me to gain the support that I need to continue bringing new and exciting content to you. To review any information presented in this episode, a summary of our show notes can be found on the web at www.drmamasays.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you've not done so yet. Hope you come back and listen again soon.